What's up, YouTube? Welcome to the Aviators channel. Oh, we're at it big with the Cessna, and the project is kind of. This is an update, by the way, because I haven't done one in like 3 weeks, and a lot has happened in that 3 weeks in terms of, what we wanted to do with the Cessna. So first, remember, we wanted to put the Sportsman STOL on it. Then I wanted to put the big wheel kit on it. Then I wanted to start on the interior, do the full fiberglass interior with the extended baggage. Then I wanted to replace the seats, and I was going to leave the Avionics totally alone. Yeah, I got this personality thing that just doesn't let me leave well enough alone. In fact, most of the times I fix things till they're really, really broke. But this one's turning out well. So let me show you what it looks like. Okay, here we go. So the Sportsman STOL is installed. So here's a good way to look at this. So this is the kind of original profile of the wing. This is the new cuff coming down, and so the airplane doesn't stall anymore. The airplane basically mushes at 41 all the way to the ground. Here's another kind of good look of the original cuff up in here and the new cuff. Now that doesn't look like much, but this kit added, I think, 14 square foot of wing area, and the stall characteristics are just ridiculous. Also, new LEDs, landing and taxi lights, new LEDs on the wingtips, pretty sweet. This thing looks like a Christmas tree coming into land. Abrasion boots, you guys, I did another video on that. This piece of, it was a piece of plastic, now it's fiberglass. Replace that. More LEDs. Position, or that's a strobe. That's the, whatchamacallit. All LED. So there isn't a normal light bulb in the whole kit, and you can see these tips are dramatically drooped. There's a drain hole there for moisture. There's the LED on that side, looking wicked cool. Now the cool part is I finished the most of the interior today. So it took me about 50 hours to put the fiberglass in. Me and I had a mechanic helping, kind of guiding me on that. And then took about 10 hours to do the seats. So these are leather. Redid the floor. So I put diamond plate, riveted that in. Here's the seat belts and stuff. Riveted that in, and then put the rubber diamond mat in. Then there is the rear seat. It's a split bench seat, so it's really kind of cool. I've been touching up paint as I've been going. So the frames here, I actually used truck liner, the truck liner stuff that you put in the bed of your truck to protect it on all the frames, and that stuff is like hard as woodpecker lips. So it's pretty sweet. So let me show you the rest that we've done here. So here is the baggage compartment. Obviously new fiberglass there, new fiberglass inside, and voila, extended baggage. And I was actually shocked how far back that baggage goes, but I can put 50 pounds in there, 120 pounds here. So this is a hauler, and we've taken a lot of weight out of this airplane. So it was like 1480. I think we're going to lose about 100 pounds. Other thing we did from a safety perspective is BAS shoulder harnesses. So that's a new install. That took about 4 hours. Somebody who was competent, though, could have done it a lot quicker than me. Well, so kind of not done there. I really didn't want to mess with the avionics in this plane, but I did want ADS-B, And so the problem was that the transponder that I bought from Garmin, and I'll show you that in a second here, is all bright and new looking. And so I had a weak moment. It was weak. And I ordered new Garmin radios for it. And then I didn't want the yucky looking audio control panel, so I got one of those. Then I got a GDL39 3D, and I thought, well, if I have a GDL39 3D, that's going to feed my iPad. I'm going to be ADSB out, so I should probably get a 796. Yeah, it's like a disease. That's what it is, disease. Anyways, here it is. And when I say here it is, here's the old stuff. All this plastic is coming out and being replaced. All these knobs are kind of old and sun damaged. Replacing all those, so I have all that on. I'll show you all the stuff I have. So the two KX155s, the Navcom radios, those two come out. The transponder is replaced by the Garmin ADSB out solution, and then I bought a Garmin audio panel. So my plan is to move these two over under here, and actually what I'll do is I'll stack the two new Garmins with the transponder below. I'll put the audio panel here, then these two, my suction and my carburetor temperature, those two will come up under here. And then that whole thing will be open over there, and that's where I'll put the 796 on a swivel mount. So it'll be hardwired to a GDL39 3D, and then I'm going to put the ball for my iPad right here. So let's go look at some cool technology. All right, so here we are. This is the new ADSB transponder with the GPS puck, and it just so happens that this airplane had an antenna right up on top. See those 5 screws right there? So I'll put that that puck right there, and then here is the actual transponder itself, and it's you know, pretty Garmin-ish. Looks actually a lot like an audio, or like a audio panel that they make. But anyways, that's that. All the new little knobs and some more knobs and cables, you know, for the heater and all that. So that's all that. Here is the GDL39 3D, and I really love this device for ADSB. Gives you traffic. It'll give you synthetic vision on both the 796 and the your iPad. So really kind of cool. And then back here, you know, these are just some odds and ends. I don't like rusty bolts. It makes me freak out. So I bought stainless steel bolt kits. So I'm gonna literally replace every bolt on the plane. I don't like that rusty look. I am going to reshoot the top of the wing. The bottom of the wing's in pretty good shape, but I am going to shoot the top, and I'm going to reshoot the red leading edge. When I mixed the paint for this leading edge, I mixed it really, really hard, and I did that so it wouldn't chip. And when I did that, it got a lot of orange peel on it, and so it was intentional. And now I'm going to come back, and you can see here where I've wet sanded some of it, but I'm going to wet sand the entire leading edge, and I'll reshoot it with a really nice coat. So one of the other things, replaced all of the cuffs with new cuffs, reshot those. And for those of you who've never seen a Franklin engine, that's what they look like right there. So that's 220 horsepower. And you know, it carries really good manifold pressure all the way up to altitude, which is something I've never seen with a carbureted engine. So I don't know how that's possible or even feasible, but it does. Next is the big wheels. So that is the front fork, and that's an 800 by 6. And then on the mains, I've got 8.5 by 6. And so my plan here is I'm gonna have those rims powder coated black to match the black stripe. So I got the red stripe in there, red stripe there. The other thing I did was change the brown poopy looking stripes, the poop colored stripes, to black. And they turned out real nice. I've got the cowl off this because we're going to be running cables for avionics and all that kind of stuff. But I'm kind of, you know, so I'm kind of, right now I'm just waiting. I'm waiting for the panel to come in. I'm waiting for the two Garmins to come in. I'm waiting for the audio panel to come in. Waiting for the G2 Insight engine monitor. I just believe in life, if you're going to be a pilot, you should monitor your engine. And all this has is EGTs, which literally tells you nothing. It tells you kind of peak power maybe, but CHTs are what you care about. I mean, is the cylinder melting? That's good to know when you're flying. Anyways, so new engine monitors going in. I don't think I mentioned that when I was in the cockpit, but it's fun. In terms of flight characteristics, I gotta say, I turned it into kind of a fire breather. You can't stall it. You can't do a power on stall, because when you get into these crazy attitudes because the wing just won't stall. Well, when it finally does stall, it falls through and goes upside down. And ask me how I know this. 4 times in a row, no power on stalls. So I don't think you should do them with a Sportsman cuff. But the crazy thing is, you would never get yourself into that kind of attitude taking off, which is kind of what a power on stalls, trying to show you what bad things can happen. Now, in a regular power off stall with 40 degrees of flaps, like I said, it mushes down at about 250 feet a minute, and that's it. The wing doesn't break. It just mushes down. And so consequently, my landings have been horrible. I mean, horrible doesn't even quite describe how my landings have been. They've been that bad because I keep coming in too fast. It seems like an unnatural thing to go that slow, and so I'm gonna have to get used to it. I'll do a bazillion touch and goes, and I'll get happy with it, and it'll all be good. All right, so that's the update. Can't think of anything else right now. I put new gas caps on it too. So if you like this sort of thing, like, subscribe, comment. Till next time.